In this video, we'll study about the basic process in the development. There are two processes. One is the growth. The other one is the differentiation. So these two processes are involved during the conversion of single cell zygote into a multicellular complex body of a newborn baby. So now we'll see about the growth. So what is growth? It is the increase in the bulk. So this takes place in any one of the three ways. So first way of growth is by multiplication. So this causes increase in the cell number. So this is by cell division. So this growth is called as multiplicative growth. The second way of growth is increase in the cell size. So this type of growth is known as auxitic growth. The third type of growth is increase in the accumulation of intercellular substance. So this growth is known as the accretionary growth. So growth means increase in the bulk. It takes place either one of these processes, either by the cell division, which increases the cell number, that is known as the multiplicative growth, or it occurs by increase in the cell size, that is known as the auxitic growth, or by the increase in the accumulation of intercellular substance, that is known as the accretionary growth. Next we'll see about the multiplicative growth, which occurs by successions of mitotic division, is predominantly observed in most of the tissues and organs in the prenatal life. In this process, many cells die by apoptosis. So this is known as the programmed cell death, or they undergo synthesis to restore normal contour of different system. So the body cell fall under three general category. So the first category is the nerve cells. When you take the nerve cells or neurons, they do not divide in the postnatal life except in the cells of the olfactory bulb and the hippocampus. With advancement of age, they become progressively diminished in number. The second category is the specialized body cells, that is the epidermis of skin and intestinal epithelium. And also the myeloid precursors of circulating erythrocytes. So they are continuously lost by wear and tear, and to replenish the loss, new cells of the same kind are continuously produced by mitosis from some stem cells. So this process of maintaining a steady state of cell population is known as turnover. The third category of cells are the liver cells. So which usually do not divide. However, when 2/3 of the liver is removed, the cells of the remaining liver tissue undergo mitosis under altered condition until the original volume of the liver is restored. Next we'll see about the auxitic growth. The auxitic growth affects some cells, particularly the oocyte and some neurons. Here the cells increase much in the cytoplasmic volume and the general nucleocytoplasmic ratio of 1:4 or 6 is disturbed, so that the structural genes of the nuclear DNA are ineffective to replace the cytoplasmic protein, which undergo continual degradation. Under such circumstances, numerous small satellite cells surround the large cell possessing huge cytoplasmic volume, and they provide nutrition to them. Thus, a cellular mass containing a centrally placed large cell and peripherally placed small cells, they form a cytophysiological unit. So this explains why oocytes are surrounded by follicular cells and large neurons are surrounded by neuroglial cells. The next type of growth is accretionary growth. So this is observed in the connective tissue, especially in the bones and the cartilage, where the amount of intercellular substance is abundant. Next we'll see about the differentiation. So differentiation is a complicated process in which a group of cells assume special characteristics and are assigned with specific function. Initially, the differentiation is invisible, but when apparent, it becomes histogenesis. By means of differentiation, the tissues and the organs are laid down in the embryo in a sequential and closely integrated system. After the formation of the zygote, each of the two cells derived from the first cleavage division possess totipotent character, and each cell may produce a separate embryo under favorable condition, and this is the basis of the formation of identical or uniovular twins. But under normal condition, one of the cells form the embryo and the progenesis of the other cell provide nutritive and protective covering of the embryo. The totipotent nature may retain up to 8 cell stage of the cleavage division in the human zygote. Following repeated cleavage division of the zygote, the cells of the morula are no longer totipotent, but they are succeeded by a plastic phase with a reduced potencies, and this plastic phase is denoted by pluripotent character of the cells, in which the group of the cells produce specific type of tissue. The plastic phase is followed by a phase of chemodifferentiation, in which the embryonic cells do not exhibit any histological changes. The chemodifferentiation is probably a physiochemical process, and it appears first in the cells of the dorsal lip of the blastopore, which corresponds with the primitive streak of the higher vertebrates. So these localized area of the embryo induce directly tissue differentiation by liberating some chemical substances which are known as the organizers. The dorsal lip of the blastopore or the primitive streak. So this primitive streak is the primary organizer. So this primary organizer induces the development of notochord and also the secondary mesoderm. The notochord in turn acts as a secondary organizer. So this secondary organizer induces the development of brain and spinal cord from the overlying neuroectodermal plate. The neural tube, so this is formed from the neural tube. So this neural tube acts as the tertiary organizer. So this neural tube gives rise to the somate formation from the paraxial mesoderm. Somate formation from the paraxial mesoderm. In this way, the entire embryonic area is mapped out into various individuation fields, each of which possess fixed potentiality for the development of specific tissue. In the human, the primary organizer center of primitive streak first appears on the 15th day of development. The mode of action of the organizers depends on two factors, the evocation and individuation. The evocation means the liberation of a chemical substance, an evocator, the nature of which is still unknown. The organizer is non-specific. The organizing tissue of one species, if grafted into the embryo of another species, retain its effective influence. The grafted organizer acts as a chemical stimulus and induces the tissue differentiation in a manner which is characteristics of the host. Individuation of different system is performed by the interaction between the organizer and the host. The chemodifferentiation is succeeded by histodifferentiation, in which the anatomical characteristics of the tissues are observed. This is followed by organogenesis, in which the tissues are molded into definite shape of the organ system. Lastly, final modeling of various anatomical structures appear during functional period. The arterial wall is differentiated into thicker one depending upon the hemodynamic factors of circulation. Such process of structural change is known as the functional differentiation. So what are the points to remember? Growth means increase in the cellular mass, which may be multiplicative, auxetic or accretionary. Differentiation is a process by which the tissues and organs are laid down in the embryo in a sequential and integrated system. The successive phases of differentiation are the chemodifferentiation with the appearance of organizer, the histogenesis, the organogenesis and functional differentiation. Totipotent cells are those where each cell may produce a separate embryo under favorable condition. Pluripotent cells are a group of cells which produce specific type of tissue in early embryogenesis.